Hello everyone, thanks so much for watching this video and I hope you find it helpful. My name is Scott Curley and I'm an Assistant Director in the Financial Aid Office at Kennesaw State University. I will be your point of contact for questions related to athletic aid while you're with us at Kennesaw State. Financial aid doesn't have to be a mystery. Yes, there are a lot of rules and specifics, but by sticking to the information you find in this video, you should be just fine. And remember, you have a campus full of support to help walk you through this. First, let's talk about federal financial aid. This includes all financial aid received through the federal government, specifically the U.S. Department of Education, or Department of Ed for short. Federal financial aid includes student loans, the federal Pell Grant, and federal work study, among others. All federal financial aid begins with the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, which is found at fafsa.gov. These types of aid are all directly tied to your enrollment, and to be sure that you maximize your award amounts each semester, make sure you work with your academic advisor to ensure the classes you sign up for count towards your degree and help you progress towards graduation. Federal financial aid requires a minimum of 6 hours per semester in most cases, but you will likely be enrolled in at least 12 hours each fall and spring. If you take out loans, they do have to be repaid. However, in most cases, not until 6 months after you have graduated. Grants, like the federal Pell Grant, do not need to be repaid and are based on your family financial picture. When you submit a FAFSA, you receive an expected family contribution figure, or EFC for short. The EFC determines your eligibility for Pell, as well as subsidized loans and federal work study. You can learn more by visiting financialaid.kennesaw.edu. Next, we'll talk about institutional financial aid. For most of you, this would be in the form of an athletic grant and aid, also known as an athletic scholarship. If you are going to be receiving athletic aid for the upcoming year, you have received a grant and aid document that details your athletic aid award. If you are not receiving athletic aid, you would not have gotten a grant and aid, but would have instead only signed a national letter of intent. The grant and aid letter would have then been signed and returned to our athletic compliance office in order to signify your acceptance of your athletic aid offer. For specifics on what you've been offered, please refer to your grant and aid agreement. Your athletic scholarship can include the following elements: tuition, fees, housing, meals, or books. It may include a single one of these elements or multiple elements. Keep in mind, you do need to be enrolled in at least 12 hours every fall and spring to keep your athletic aid award. And your award is valid for only 1 year, unless you otherwise see it stated specifically in your grant and aid agreement. At the end of each year, your coach will have the option to renew your award, increase your award, decrease your award, or not renew your award for the upcoming academic year. You will receive a written notice via KSU email from our office by July 1st of each year regarding the details of next year's award. There are also certain circumstances that may arise that would lead to your award being canceled during the year. You can find these in your grant and aid agreement as well. Finally, you may be eligible to receive Georgia state aid, such as the Hope or Zell Miller Scholarship. In order to apply for state aid, you can either do so by submitting a FAFSA, which would also be your application for loans and grants each year, or the GSF app, which stands for Georgia Student Finance Application. The GSF app is valid for 10 years and is only an application for Hope or the Zell Miller Scholarship. If you want to also apply for loans and grants, you'd want to submit a FAFSA each year instead of the one-time GSF app. You can see the complete eligibility requirements as well as track your Hope or Zell GPA by visiting gafutures.org. Basic eligibility criteria states that in order to receive the Hope Scholarship, you must be a Georgia resident and have graduated high school with an official Hope GPA of 3.0 or higher. For Zell, you would still have to meet the residency requirements of Georgia and have graduated high school with an official Zell GPA of 3.7 or higher, plus a 1200 SAT or 26 ACT score. For both Hope and Zell, you'll be checked for continued eligibility at the end of each spring semester and also at 30, 60, and 90 attempted hours. These are referred to as your Hope or Zell checkpoints. If you happen to lose the Hope Scholarship at a checkpoint, you would have the chance to regain it at the 30, 60, or 90 attempted hour checkpoints. To maintain Hope, you would need to have at least a 3.0 official Hope GPA, as shown on gafutures.org at every checkpoint. And for Zell, you would have to have a minimum of 3.3 for your official Zell GPA, also seen on gafutures.org at each checkpoint. If you are a Zell Scholar, your tuition will be covered in full, and if you are a Hope Scholar, you will be paid the hourly rate of $167 for the upcoming year, which comes out to about 90% of your tuition charges. Please do check gafutures.org for more information, including the award amounts for each year, as these amounts may change. If you start out being a Hope Scholar, you can never earn your way up to a Zell Miller Scholarship. But if you start out with Zell and you lose your Zell eligibility, but you still meet Hope eligibility, you can become eligible for the Hope Scholarship. Same thing, if you're not initially Hope eligible upon high school graduation and you are a Georgia resident, you meet the Hope requirements, you may become eligible at 30, 60, or 90 attempted Hope hours. Lastly, both Hope and Zell will provide up to 127 attempted hours of coverage. For most KSU majors, you have 123 hours to graduate. So in theory, if you remain eligible at each of your checkpoints, you would have your state aid until you graduate. Finally, be sure to check your Owl Express Financial Aid tab regularly for your financial aid status, awards, and information. You will all have a dedicated financial aid counselor based on your last name and can see your counselor by going to financialaid.kennesaw.edu, then clicking on the Contact Us icon on the left-hand side of the screen. Well, I hope this has helped provide a bit of useful information and you feel more confident regarding your financial aid for the upcoming year. I look forward to working with you and helping to support you on your journey at Kennesaw State. Have a great day and go Owls.